Water shortages. How is this going to affect our food? Before we begin, I would love for you to click the subscribe button down below. Tap the notification bell beside it so that you'll be notified of all new videos. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. The ongoing drought in California has the state's farmers making some tough choices. Water allocations for many farmers have been cut to zero this year, and water transfers are delayed, forcing some farmers to choose one crop over another. In some cases, even tearing up acres of crops that require excessive watering. This year, California received one of the lowest statewide precipitation totals on records. This was compounded by a warm spring which evaporated much of the Sierra Nevada snowpack that typically feeds nearly 163 billion gallons of water into reservoirs. This year's snowpack is at 0% of normal. As a result, 87% of the West is under at least a moderate drought, up from last year's 40%. Most of California's big reservoirs are holding less than half of their capacities. State and federal officials have had to respond to the drought with water regulations. The Sacramento Bee reported that Governor Gavin Newsom drafted an order preventing thousands of farmers from using water from nearby rivers after declaring a drought emergency for 41 of California's 58 counties. On the west side of the San Joaquin Valley, farmers at the beginning of the growing season were allocated only 5% of water from the federal resources. Some farmers have even responded by removing crops with higher water needs. One farm tore up 600 acres of their almond orchard in order to make room for crops that require less water. Almonds are California's most valuable crop, but they are not the only field suffering in the drought. Cotton, wheat, asparagus, alfalfa, and tomato farmers are also feeling the pain. Some dairy farmers and beef ranchers have had to lessen their herds as the cost of supplementing with cattle feed has gone up as their grasses in their pastures dry out. Some farmers are even foregoing planting and even selling their water instead. It's a lucrative option if you've got the water to sell, and some farmers have more water privileges than others. A group of Sacramento Valley farmers banded together and plan to sell as much as 48 billion gallons to growers south of the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta in an $82 million deal. But smaller farms with more junior water rights may not have the fruits to buy water. So many are making the difficult decision to allow fields to go fallow. What has this got to do with the rest of America? A lot of our agricultural land is in California and in the Midwest, and we are seeing extreme droughts. Now the water rights are being cut off to a lot of the farmers, and they are cutting their crops under, which means that food is not going to get to your shelves, which means that you are not going to have that full pantry. We're used to going to the store and getting everything that we want without any food shortages, without any problems. But this last year and a half has showed us that anything can happen if you're not prepared. This year's crop harvest is going to be devastating. The shelves are full to what they're going to be by the time winter comes. Without these people growing these crops, there is no food in the grocery stores, and we are left with empty shelves. Be sure and have your pantry stocked now while you can get it. If you have a possible way to grow a garden, be sure to do that. We're going to all need it. Stay safe, God bless you, and keep prepping.